Okay, welcome back to my channel. Um, this is the continuation of it's turning into weekly videos. As I've said in the past, the idea was to do 26 videos this year. It's going to be more than 26. I'm kind of on a little bit of a roll, I guess. But this is all really about my own personal development journey this year. And I've said in the past, this is really for my reference. So if you're watching this, great. Join the party, join the journey. But this is for me to see how things evolve over the course of the year. So I can check in on what how I was feeling back in February, January, blah blah blah, throughout the year. Now, in the last week, I guess I've come to another realization, which I already knew, is that I don't like to commit to things. Even though I know that commitment is, part and parcel of the process, is part of the discipline in terms of personal development. And when I say committed, some of it just really writing it down. So if you have a goal, write it down. And it's kind of obvious. I just have this trouble in just kind of wanting to write it down. It's almost as if I write it down and it doesn't happen, then I am a weaker person, or I'm a failure, or something like that. I don't know what it is. I can't really compute it at the moment. So I know by looking at old journals that certain patterns of thought, certain patterns of behaviour have been consistent over the years. I know certain things I've wanted to target have been consistent, and yet I just don't push on. So I'm going to commit myself now to start writing things down, or at least by the next time I do a video, I would have written things down as these are my targets for the next month, the next week, for the year. Because again, this is about personal development, but I haven't actually framed properly the way that I want the year to go. I know the direction of travel. I know I want to practice speaking in front of a camera so that I will feel more comfortable speaking in front of a camera. I know that I want to sort out my finances. I know I need to sort out my my career path. I know I want to have different income streams working. I just haven't kind of put a structure for milestones, for ways that I know that I am being successful in my progress. There's no measuring. That's probably the thing I need to put in. And so that's kind of been one of the things that's kind of come to mind this week. Now, I've mentioned it in a previous video. These videos are unvarnished. I'm not going to be editing because, well, I'm just not in that process at the moment. So this is really stream of consciousness thinking. But I mentioned in a previous video that I'm looking to do a newsletter. Hasn't quite happened yet, but I have told a good friend of mine that I'm going to do a newsletter, and that's one of the things I think is important. Accountability. I now have someone who will ask me about this newsletter. When's it coming out? And they will, I no doubt, once I've started it and I send it to them, they will forward it on to other friends. So I know I need more accountability. I know I need more in the way of embracing a community, because community is going to be key in any form of personal development. It may be personal development, but it's actually part and parcel of the community growth, if you will, that can help push anyone forward. I've been kind of, again, so the newsletter idea is partly really to to try and build income streams, but also I do have some degree of a writing bias. As I've mentioned in the past, I write on Medium. If you want to see my work, check out Spirit Worth. So one word, Spirit Worth, on Medium. And so the idea is not just to write for the sake of writing. The idea is to try and monetize. Because again, I firmly believe we all need to take control of our lives in different ways. Personal development in and of itself is one of those ways. And building income streams is to make sure you're not a victim of the economy, your company, the man, whatever, whichever way you want to look at it. It gives you more in the way of agency. And that's really what I want to do. And I've been sucked around YouTube a little. Sucked around? I've been looking around YouTube a lot and been sucked into the world of KDP publishing on Amazon. Now, I say sucked into the world of KDP publishing. I realised this week that I published a book on Amazon KDP in 2017. So 7 years ago. It's probably earned $1 here, maybe $0.50 there. Hasn't done much, but in total, I've already got about 6 or 7 books on Amazon, and I haven't really. These are assets. These are assets that can be properly monetized. Maybe the format of some of these books isn't quite right. Maybe the covers aren't good enough, so they haven't been gaining traction. Maybe the subject matters don't have much interest. But the reality is these are assets that I need to work on. So I've been playing with the keywords, long tail keywords for some of them, which I looked at the keywords I had for them and I thought, those are rubbish. I mean, I literally did some more research on keywords and realised the ones I had weren't going to help monetize any of them. And I think I have started to notice with these new long tail keywords a bit of a pickup in interest in one or two of the books. So that's something I'm going to push forward. So now I've found another shiny object, KDP publishing, to tackle. So that is going to be one of my targets. So I guess if you will, my income stream dynamic, which is becoming more clear to me now, is going to be a publishing arm, whereby I will publish things on Amazon, KDP self-publishing. I will have my own newsletter, and that will link to my Medium writing. So that's all kind of interconnected. And so actually, by airing this now on this video, things are starting to make more sense. So cool. So again, this is a work in progress, and I know you might think this is just like some bloke just talking nonsense on the camera, and it is. But I know I need to do a lot more work at being uncomfortable with my being more comfortable at being uncomfortable. I had a meeting with a very big client this week. I work in finance, blah blah blah, and I don't like doing meetings or presentations. You know, it is what it is. But it went really well, and I remember thinking, you know, you've got to do more of this. You've got to do more of this discomfort, because again, you know, we know that growth happens beyond the comfort zone. We know the theory, but actually, in terms of the practicality, you know that if you keep hitting your head or yourself against a invisible barrier, you're kind of limiting yourself. It's a bit like this idea that they used to train, I don't know whether it's still the case. If it is, I hope not, train elephants to stay in the same spot by tying a rope to their leg and then nailing that at a spot, say, I don't know, 10 feet away, and then the elephants got so used to the distance between the peg and their leg, so that it kept on tugging on them, that even when you took the rope off, they refused to move beyond that natural distance of where the peg was. And that's really just a metaphor for us in life. You know, if you keep on doing what you've always been doing, you will continue to find that level of resistance as being your maximum. So I don't want to sound like some kind of evangelical self-help guru who says you must do this, you must push through. But on a very basic level, we all know that, so if we want to get to the next level, we have to do things slightly different to what we've been doing before. And that is really what I am looking to do. And on a very basic level, and silly as it might sound, me writing down my goals and plan and structure around those goals is actually kind of like that's actually pushing beyond my comfort, because I don't like having certain elements of structure in my life, even though I know that having discipline perversely is a way to more freedom. You know, if you have more discipline around your finances, in terms of how you manage it, you can position yourself for better financial freedom. If you have more discipline in terms of how you train yourself at work or apply yourself at work, whether that's the day-to-day or your own personal learning journey, you can evolve there. So that's really what I'm trying to look to do over the next week. I've said it in this video, and I will look back at this video maybe in a week's time, maybe in a month's time, to see whether I've actually adhered to it. Again, I need this accountability. So if you've got anything out of this video, feel free to subscribe, feel free to comment, feel free to try this yourselves. Just do these videos into YouTube, into the ether. Who knows who will watch it? Maybe someone who's looking for the same kind of messaging that you can provide. I'm just doing this for my own personal journey. I don't expect to get thousands upon thousands of viewers. It'd be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to monetize, but it won't happen anytime soon. But ultimately, this is part and parcel of my journey, and this is just great to practice. Right, before I waffle on too much, time to focus on taking myself to the next level. And yeah, until next time, if you do decide to tune in again, yeah, bye for now.